Hi, hello, and good evening. It is March 23rd. We are recapping the second week in the Big Brother Canada house. Gina has left us this evening. She's apparently got something better to do, but that's okay because we've got some stuff to do tonight as well, and we're not going to waste any more time. So let's just get it. I am Kyle Petty, and we are joined here by my one bestie, John Dunphy, because Gina couldn't be bothered tonight. This is Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod or on our still unupdated website, stratchatpod.com. By the way, you can look on Instagram for our popularity polls launched tonight, directly after the episode. Click through the story, throw or toss a yay or a nay into your favorite or non-favorite house guests. And we'll talk about it later. I actually haven't checked. I don't think anybody gave a damn the last time I looked. So I found that discouraging. So somebody
for the poll?
Yeah. So somebody come through.
I think last time I looked, each person had at least like 10 votes.
Oh, okay. All right. For something we didn't tell people we were doing. All right.
That was a little while ago, so it's probably gone up a little bit.
We'll get the word out. So anyway, this week, Zach's still talking, much to our chagrin. But people are, starting to tune in here. They're starting to tune in, and not in the way that he intends. And he is just one big baby. Oh boy, is he a baby.
Right?
If anybody does not see it exactly the way that he does, oh boy, does he have things to say and throws a tantrum. I can't stand this man.
It's like he's not even capable of just even faking it, being like, oh yeah, I see your point. Like, let's think about this. Like, he's not capable of even pretending that someone else might have a good idea. It's just always his way or the highway. And if not, sorry, I'm gonna backdoor you. Like, even if you're my ally. Yeah.
Seriously. So how did we kick this one off? We already knew. No, we didn't know. We knew because of digital dilly-dallies. But our casual friends didn't know. So on Tuesday, we saw them finish out that HOH competition. Had to go down the slides and toss little balls in the little baskets. And whoever had the most points after what? An hour was this? Or 2 hours?
I think it was an hour. Yeah.
Listen, I would have been huffing and puffing like after my second go around. This looked like hell.
Yeah, this didn't look fun at all to me.
And like that slide, I wonder how slippery it really was. Because they look like they were moving at some points, but you don't think that maybe sometimes they had like Flintstones their way down, like when your clothes like get stuck, it doesn't quite make it. Like, right? That's what I feel like that could have been.
There was a point I think it was Kuzi, and it's just another reason for Zach to be like annoying and like an asshole. Like, Kuzi was like getting herself ready to go down the slide, and Zach was standing there, and he wanted to go down the same slide that she was going down. And like, even in that moment, I noticed him he was like, she's sitting there waiting and like figuring out what she's gonna do, and like Zach's behind her like, like. It's like, dude, there's 4 other slides to choose from, first of all. And second of all, this half of a second that you have to wait is not going to be a big deal.
I'm telling you, even when like he's not even supposed to be the focus, you can't help but find him doing something crazy like in the background. Just give you another reason to dislike him. Yeah. Oh, he sucks so much. And it's too bad because he's really cute. He's really cute, and it's just you can't get past it. He's so disgusting. I'm finding him repulsive.
Yeah, he's
Um,
awful. He's really
yeah,
disgusting.
awful, awful. But Dan wins HOH, but also Zach. Because I gotta tell you, this HOH went exactly like Santina's as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
And this is where, okay, honestly, taking my distaste for Zach out of things, you do have to hand it to him for his way to get in here and control things. Everyone seems to think that his opinion is the best. It may be because he told you it was, but everyone believes it because everyone does follow, like regardless how much they're grumbling or anything like that. He does seem to get everyone's ear, and he is controlling this house.
I think that's coming to an end, though.
I think it's coming to an end too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Like
this is an early thought. This is my Tuesday thoughts. These are my Tuesday
right.
thoughts. Okay. 'Cause
Right.
I don't do the digital dailies.
Yeah. I
Digital
checked out one or
dilly-dallies.
two, the dilly dallies. Yeah. I checked out one or two, and then now I'm like, what's the point? Anything that is in it, I will find on Twitter. If there's anything worth, seeing at all, people are gonna be tweeting about it. So
Speaking of which, that's how I knew this whole veto thing was a mess. Right, because I did not watch a digital dilly dally, and I did not watch the episode last night. But I kept looking at the hashtag. I was like, "Why don't we know what's going on with this veto?" And like the answer was nowhere. So was that not in a daily?
I
Like,
don't even know.
oh, okay, because I couldn't find anything on the hashtag,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Am I just crazy?" Like, I feel like I'm just like not seeing this information, and then actually watching these episodes play out, and they did a really cheesy freaking to be continued, which I
Oh
really
yeah.
want to get into. We're not totally there yet. So Dan won, blah blah blah, and Zach basically said, this is what he wants. Oh, not before Hope said, "Put me up."
Yeah, this was so ridiculous. And maybe the week could have been redeemed in some way if he hadn't done this. Because you end up then with Hope and Renee up there. And it's like, I don't really want either of them to leave. But now two people that I like are up there. And what's gonna happen? And then of course, like what's gonna happen? Either way, somebody that I like is up there. I just hated this. I hate it. Like, why did you do this, Hope?
Right,
Like, why?
right.
And obviously he realized pretty quickly that like this is a really stupid thing to be doing.
Yeah,
But
should not
like
have done
it
this.
was
This
too
was not
late.
the right decision. It was too late. It was too late. Especially when you feel like when this person feels like they've been given an out. They certainly don't want to now be told that out's gone. So like, yeah, sorry. I think I would have done the same thing that Dan did in this moment. I would have said sorry. That's where we are.
Yeah.
I don't really want to wrap my head past this. Although also lame because like, did you do you also like not have anything to do for yourself? Like Hope and Renee, what was because the end game was supposed to be backdooring Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's what put us here. But first, we played Veto, right? We played Veto. And I love a sponsored competition. Okay. And this is the episode that I had skipped. And as soon as I saw the picture with everybody as little teeth, I was really excited because I knew I was gonna love it. And I said on Twitter, I was like, what was it? Was it Colgate, Crest? Who was it? And somebody shouted back, you're a real one. Thank you. It was Philip Sonicare. Philip Sonicare handled the bill for this competition. We saw our house guest dressed as teeth, having to fit the bristles in a shaky toothbrush.
Dressed as teeth. It just sounds Thank God Big Brother's back, huh?
I'm telling you, I'm so happy. I said that to somebody today too, because I was like, yo, this is exactly why I love Big Brother. Because if you walk by and you just saw people running around as teeth, putting bristles in a shaky toothbrush, you'd be like, yo, what is this? And I'm like, all of a sudden, this is the most important competition of the week. Who wins this toothbrush competition?
I love, like even when Renee said, like Renee got out and she was like, I'm a cavity. It's like so dumb.
It's just so good. I gotta tell you, this was not so great. That's really where the hijinks and fun ended for me. I did think this was kind of lame-o to watch.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that the thing is shaking because I see the bristles go, and I'm convinced that it's shaking because you put that camera down below and it's doing its thing. But I gotta say, when I'm looking down, it looks like nothing's going on. I did not see the side of the toothbrush shaking, so I'm not really sure what the shaky was. Is this like put a quarter in the bed and the mattress shakes? Like, what kind of shake-it was this? They acted like it was really crazy, but I'm not sure it was.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah.
I also I hated the way that they like figured out who was going to be going, facing off against who too. Matt Blevins sounds like some real oral hijinks.
So stupid.
Oh man. I hated like the way they found out the order of like who was going to go off against who first and this and that. And like, I'm like, of
Oh, you didn't
course.
like that?
Well, I didn't like how it turned out. I was like, because of
I didn't
course,
like the
of,
results.
yeah, of course, the very first matchup is Renee and Hope. I'm like, this is supposed to be the last matchup, or like somewhere in between,
Right.
somewhere in the middle. Like, really,
The final
immediately,
showdown.
right? Immediately, someone on the block is out of it. They don't have a chance.
Oh, yeah, I did want to ask you, what did you think of how we picked the veto players? Because we didn't get to see that last week unless you went online, which we did not do because we didn't discuss
No.
it. So, did you like that? Just picking a chess piece, seeing whose name was underneath and the
Yeah,
underbellies.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was very fun. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
Not super special. No more random than like stick it in your hand in a little box. But it was a
Right,
good time.
right.
I enjoyed it. That's all. Brought me
Now,
back to the whodunit clue murder mystery thing going on here.
right. What was it?
Yeah, very
What
fun.
was it last? What was it last year? Did they have like a wheel that they had to
Yeah,
spin
it had
or
that
something?
big wheel in the middle.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought this was fun. That's all.
It's
So-
fun that it is fun that they come up with something different. Like it's still always random, but it is fun that they come up with like a new interesting way to pick veto players. Like you said, we in the US just stick your hand in a box and see what you get. Like,
Listen,
So-
you came here to play Big Brother. Somebody pull the box. Where's the veto box? It's time. Listen, it's almost summer. Dude, I'm telling you, I've been using that box since the beginning of time.
yeah.
But it's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
As a brief aside, did you ever imagine that BBUS would now be like the flagship Big Brother? Now that that's the only one with proper feeds, and all these things are now correct. Now all of a sudden, BBUS is like where it's at. Everybody's like, oh yay, oh yay.
Yeah, I'm excited for our season. I am.
Now I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not really the experience I wanted. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much of a bummer this was going to be. Still not as much of a bummer as the fact that Zach took home the W.
After Hope won the first 4 rounds or 5 rounds or something.
Almost like every round, because didn't he finish the puzzle last? I think he won every single round and knocked everyone else out.
He was in the entire time, beat everybody except
With
for
the score
when it
that
came.
kept going up every time. Did you notice that
Yeah.
too? He kept doing better, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna get this."
Yeah.
Except I already knew he didn't, but yeah,
Right.
tough watch. But yeah. So there was that. So after this, now is when our girl, Lady V, had some words for Mr. Z. That worked out really nice. It was not planned. I just kind
that
of
was nice.
just moseyed on into that one. That was a good time. But yeah, she basically she blew him up, huh? Told him that he's one of those people who has to try to be nice, and basically blew up the entire fact that he wanted Rob on the block and blew that whole thing up. What did you think about that?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This was like the highlight of the season so far for me, because the whole season feels like it's been Zach running around trying to manipulate everybody and get them to do exactly what he wants. And it's been the weird Ty Claudia showmance. And like I feel like that's like what this season has been. And then all of a sudden Vanessa said, "No more." Like, I'm shaking things up.
Yes.
And she really did, because you could see how badly Zach and Ty wanted to be all sneaky, like, oh, we're gonna backdoor Rob, he'll never see it coming. And Vanessa was not having any of it. So this was like so far, this was the highlight of the season for me. And like, I love Vanessa.
I love Vanessa too. And this is really in response to the fact that she overheard him saying that she shouldn't be playing this game because she's too emotional and she's crying all the time. It did make me wonder though why. I mean, I love her, but Kuzi was a part of that conversation as well and did not catch any heat. Now, I do understand that Zach, is still far more problematic and I'm sure has really pushed her buttons far more. But Kuzi didn't disagree when he made that
Mm.
comment. So point that
I
out.
feel like I feel like Kuzi she's really playing the game because I don't think she actually likes Zach at all, but
No,
it's very easy for her to just say what
cheer
she
him
needs to
along.
say. Yeah, like to say what she needs to say when she's with him in the moment and nobody else is around or,
Hmm.
it's like Kuzi's definitely in there playing this game hard.
Yeah, I
But
even
like
took note
but
of after he won the Philips Sonicare veto competition that when they were coming back into the house, like she congratulated him and it felt genuine. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I like that they added that in.
right.
Nice to see because we're not
Right.
getting to see as much of her as I would like. We're seeing some funny things from Miss Kusi. I enjoyed the conversation between her and Daniel in the bedroom, where they realized they're
Yeah.
in the wrong room.
Yes, that was really good. This isn't even our bedroom.
And he's like laying on the bed and they're just having a whole conversation in somebody else's bedroom. It's really funny. Yeah.
And nobody walked in too. Like it's so funny. Like normally people are talking game and they're like looking around, making sure nobody comes in. You're not even in the room that you are like living in.
Mm-mm.
And nobody even walked in. They were totally fine the whole time. I was like, how often does that happen? Uninterrupted conversation in a room that doesn't even belong to you.
Yeah. So good. I am liking their partnership. That seems to be
Yeah.
brewing there. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
that relationship. I think they're going to be good for each other. I don't really like as much though that Daniel is really like he just keeps saying, "Yeah, you keep me in check. You do this like easy, easy, hun. Like you are still playing a game. Like it's great that you trust her and everything, but at some point she's going to make a decision that's not for you. So like,
Right.
play your own game. Be
It,
easy. Be easy.
it's funny too, like because I really like Daniel, and I feel like he knows, like he's a big fan of the game, right? Like I think he's a super fan, so he's definitely
Hmm.
watched the show. But like I feel like there are certain things that he says sometimes that I'm like, wait, how have you not already caught on to this? Like,
Yeah. And
he
are
made
you really equipped for this?
right, like he made a comment at one point, I think talking about Zach, and he was like talking to someone else and was like, oh well, you have to let me know if I can't trust this man. I was like, is it not already clear that you cannot trust him? Like what?
Right. Right. Yeah. It makes
I don't know.
makes it makes you a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you expect these people who say that they're super fans like to come in and just like be super prepared and just know exactly what to do in these certain situations. And sometimes I think people get so overwhelmed with the entire experience that like I don't know everything that they thought they knew just just like
Right.
out of here. Yeah,
Right. Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Matt wants to know if you're allowed to go through people's stuff on Big Brother. Um, I don't know. I never heard you couldn't. That's
I
never
feel
been a
like it
thing.
just yeah, I feel like it just kinda happens, right? I mean, like
I mean, not
because
intentionally, not like a
right,
sneaky survivor, I'm looking for the steal
right.
your idol way.
I'm gonna
Um,
look in your bag and, yeah, take your idol or something.
right.
Like, because I feel like, I feel like you always see the house guests, like, wearing each other's clothes and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
the bedrooms are, like, pretty much always, like, a disaster. Bags just all over the place, clothes
This
it's
house
hard.
especially, I mean, from
Yeah,
the
it's
moment they got in there, it looked like a bomb went off.
yeah, it's really bad. This is
Yeah.
a really bad,
The
really messy crew.
yes, really, it's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
for a show that you're being watched, like, I don't know, like, I think that everything has a place to begin with, but if I was on TV, somebody's watching me all the time, like, I don't let you just see me just throwing my clothes all over the place, just laying in my own filth. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, get it
Right.
together. Like, your boss is watching, your mom's watching. Like, I don't
And
know.
I totally agree. I've thought about this too. I've
Yeah.
thought about like if I'm on the show, I'm gonna be the cleanest person ever. Not that I'm like an unclean person, but like, normally. But like if I'm on TV, like and I'm gonna be on TV for potentially like 3 months or something, like I'm gonna be the cleanest person you've ever seen.
Right. And you're gonna always catch me cleaning too. I'll always be around with a broom, even if I'm not like that really at home. You're gonna think I am under the show I'm gonna be
Right.
putting on. Oh no. And I
Exactly.
also think that's good for your game too. If you're always the one cleaning, no one wants to get rid of you.
Yeah,
That at least
definitely.
is it's assigned on to jury.
Right,
At
right.
the very least. Yeah.
No, I
Um,
totally agree.
did you vote for the Circle K snack haul?
I ended up not voting. I had meant to, but I
Wow.
just never did. I
Wow.
know.
I gotta say, the way the voting was presented on the social media was hella janky. It's actually a
Mm,
masterclass in why Strat Chat does not put their popularity polls on Twitter. All right, because if
yeah.
each tweet is like only four like options, how are you really getting a clear read on what the actual percentages of anything are? You're never going to get the exact same amount of votes on each tweet, so you don't really know who won any of this.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know. I don't know. But Vanessa did win. That actually doesn't surprise me. So I'm not calling tomfoolery on the results. I just don't think the medium was great. But she won the Circle K snack haul. That was cute. That was
Yeah.
cute. I like that we have all these little things to vote for.
I agree. I agree. The snacks, we had another Bel Air Direct insurance protection vote,
Yes.
whatever. Is that what it's called, right?
It is the Bel Air Direct Eviction Protection Insurance, and voting is open now.
Yes. Who do you think's going to win that?
You know, I have a very unpopular opinion here. I don't know who will win it. I know who I want to win it.
Who?
Santina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. But I think she's in an interesting position with everything that's going on in this game right now. So I just think it'd be very interesting to kind of keep her in.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, you know, the reason being, you know, really wanting this backdoor situation with Rob to go through, right? So that was Zach's main point for wanting to win the veto, the Philip Sonicare veto competition. Um, to me,
Actually,
keep
I do
plugging it.
have a I do want to ask you about this too, about Zach winning the veto, because him and
Mhm.
Ty had a conversation after the comp, right?
Yeah.
And Ty was like, "You really shouldn't have won that. You should have threw it." Um, and I'm like, Zach really is kind of an idiot here. It's like
Hmm.
because like not only is he just annoying and gross, but like he's dumb. Like
He's
no matter
dumb.
what, yeah, no matter what the outcome of that was, you or Hope winning, the same result happens.
Yep.
Like,
And
um,
every time he's dumb, though, it's someone else's fault. Like
right.
this was Ty's fault. You know,
Oh
you
yeah, you
should
should
have
have
told
told
me. You
me.
should have told me. And he was like, "Well, I would think that you would know that." Like, like
Yeah. I can't wait till they have a fight because eventually that's gonna happen too. It'll probably
oh,
be
I
over
can't
Claudia
wait.
or something.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And because at this point, I gotta say another probably unpopular opinion. I think I am more disgusted with Ty at this stage than I am with
Yeah.
Zach. The way that he speaks to Claudia is just absolutely repulsive. And like,
It's
but I give
it's
her a lot
so
of
weird.
props though, because she does not give him anything. Like she only gives him enough to let him know that she's not an idiot and that she does know what's going on. She's like, "Oh, I know you're planning to do this." He's like, "Well, how'd you hear that?" She goes, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry." And she don't give him nothing else. She just goes, "Whoop." She goes, "I'm not stupid." Like, and I like that at least, but he's not giving her anything. So back out of this, babe.
Yeah, I don't know what she sees in him. Like
Yeah.
he's so like disrespectful and dismissive of like things that she says. Like, even when she says something and she is she's off, you know, she's trying to figure out what the plan is and this and that, and like she's like, "Oh well, is this gonna happen?" And he'll just be like, "You couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be more wrong." It's like, like just tell her what's going on. Are you
Yes.
working together? Are you in a showmance? Like, what's happening?
Yes.
Like,
And that seedy little way that like he says things because he doesn't even open his mouth completely. You know, he's just like,
right?
He's one- he's awful. I'm telling you, anytime he would walk in the room, I would just walk out. Like I wouldn't even say nothing. Just take my
Yeah,
plate and go eat in the corner. Like there's just no way I could listen to that man do anything. Um, there's
he's
literally no redeeming quality whatsoever. The only thing that I did think is that there was a brief moment, like right before the veto competition, not the competition, the ceremony here, that I thought that there could have been a switch here.
mm,
Um, that maybe Rob wouldn't go up. And I saw you tweet about this. Um, that moment now, you know, because there was a scramble right before this veto ceremony. And it was basically centered around whether or not Rob should go up. Are we just playing
mhm.
this whole, are we playing Zach's game, this, that, and the other thing? And you had mentioned on Twitter that you were disappointed that Dan had still gone through with this after all these things had come to light. Do you care to expound on that? Because I don't know that I would have done anything different than what Dan did, honestly.
I just
Not if it
felt
went
like
down like this.
I just felt like so because the house is blown up, right?
Mm,
Uh, you Vanessa's blowing everything up. People are finding out that Zach has been saying Rob's name, wants to backdoor him. And, it's clear that Zach is now controlling a second HOH week in a row. Like,
Yeah.
Santina now goes to Dan, says, like, they lied to me. Like, they told me John Michael was doing this. He actually never was saying any of that or doing any of this. Like she was like, they were just using me. They wanted to take their target out. They wanted to do what was best for their game, not for my game. And I'm like, and she's like, just think about like what they're telling you and why they would be saying this to you. And Dan was like, oh, like, so they were lying to you. Like they've lied to you. And it's like, all this stuff is going on. The house is blown up. Zach's turning on his own alliance. He's trying to control everybody, all the all the HOH moves and everything. And it's like, why would you now then continue to trust them? And then right at the beginning of tonight's episode, be like, I just wanted to, check in with Zach and Ty again. And it's like, what? After everything that happened last night, you're still just going to blindly follow them and like not take anything else into what Santina, who was like, Zach and Santina were like each other's number ones for a while. Now she, 2 weeks into the game is telling you that like he's lying to people. He's just trying to control everybody's moves. He just, and now you're just going to, first thing you do is I just want to check with Zach and make sure the plan is still on. I'd be like way more weary of like, oh, I'm just going to do what Zach and Ty told me to do, like, and
right.
I was really hoping that Dan would be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to let Zach use the veto and then I'm going to put Ty up instead. Because I can't put Zach up, so I'll put up the next best thing. Like that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. So see, the problem with that though is that we didn't have any real time to flesh that out proper. By the time it looked like Dan was really starting to hear this, what was it, 45 minutes, 30 minutes before the ceremony? Like you didn't have.
I don't know because in tonight's episode, it looked like it was prior to the veto ceremony, and they were talking about it as they were talking about the whole blow up and everything as if it was the night before.
Well, yes, but you also have to think that everyone has another story. So, like, we have the benefit of knowing that, like, they're all telling the truth. Everyone's got a different version of this. And if you've already gone into this situation thinking that Zach is kind of riding with you, and now all of a sudden here comes Santina saying, oh, no, he's not. It's like, I don't know that I would switch gears immediately. Like,
maybe not immediately, but I think if you have enough time, because it looks like this blow up and all this scrambling was the night before, and then the veto ceremony was the next day. So like, if everybody in the house is clearly seeing that, like, you're being played with here, like, and Dan even said in tonight's episode, he's like, Zach could be playing me, so like, it's on his mind, like,
oh no, I don't. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but if you don't have a solid backup, I feel like I'd be more comfortable going with what I was always going to do anyway. Like whether I really like this decision as much anymore or not, I didn't have time to flesh that other thing out. You didn't really explore that proper, like to make sure that if you did go that way, because then what if you put up Ty and then that doesn't work and people start listening to Zach again, and now Renee goes. Like now,
I don't know if that would happen though, because it seemed like even with tonight's vote, like, those girls are sticking together. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't think anything would have broken that up personally, but like I could be totally wrong.
But say that, and that's well, no, but that's the thing. I don't think you are wrong. I just don't know that would be the perception when you're in there. That's ours, like looking outside.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would trust it anything that anyone's saying. I don't know you. Like I just got here.
Right.
you
right.
know,
well, that's why
it's true because they're telling us.
Right. Like, that's why it's so like annoying too, because it's like you said, like I don't know you, like, right. and that includes for Dan, that includes Zach, who he's just continuing to trust over everybody else in the house, who is saying like, no, this is what is happening. You are being used. You know what I mean? And it's like, but I don't know any of you, so I'm not going to listen. But I also don't know Zach, and I'm going to listen. Like it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, very frustrating.
I get that. Well,
but
yeah, it's tricky.
I mean, clearly, we if this week has been evidence of anything, is that Dan has no ability to think on his feet, because even after Hope told him that he, didn't want to go up anymore, Dan was just like, well, I was going to do this, so I'm just going to continue to do it, even though you don't want to go up anymore. And like, I get it because, it felt like this is one person who volunteered. It makes it easy for me. Now I really only have to pick one person. But it's like, it just felt like, it even felt like in that moment when he continued to put Hope up, it was like, I don't even really want to do this. I just don't know what else to do. Like, like it's like he couldn't come up with a single other person he might not that he might want to put up there. You know what I mean? Like
No, I have no other thoughts. I have no original thoughts.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that fares for Dan going forward.
He didn't make a single decision this whole week.
No.
Hope volunteered to go up. That's why you put him up. Zach wanted Renee up. That's why Renee went up.
And Renee was already there once anyway, so it's like, no
Right.
harm, no foul.
Right. Zach wanted Roberto to be the replacement nominee, so that's who the
Okay.
replacement nominee was. It was like
All right.
Dan was HOH and made not a single decision. Didn't even decide on one person that should go on the block. Like,
No. It's really
embarrassing.
sad.
What a waste. What a waste
Zach
of a week.
sent Ty and him to go tell Rob beforehand as well. You even went and did his dirty work. I just want to let you know that King Zach has decided that you're gonna go on the block. So sorry, bro.
God,
it's cringy.
Oh,
it's gonna be interesting to see how he moves going forward, because I don't really see who's actually gonna work with him. Zach ain't gonna work with him. Okay, that's not the plan. That is not the plan. And now that he's not going to be in any position to have any power next week, where does he go? Who takes him?
Yeah.
You use your entire, because you did not make any decisions during your entire HOH week. You didn't use it to leverage anything to make an alliance with anyone. So like that's supposed to be the plus. Like, you use your HOH week also knowing I'm going to be powerless next week. I don't even have a shot at it. So I better make sure I secure something today. We didn't do that. We didn't do that.
No. Just spent the week doing Zach's dirty work, and now you're back among the peasants. No power at all.
Yeah. You're sitting on the sidelines watching them win. Yeah.
Like, I felt like Santina, like, also, Zach controlled her HOH week, but like there was definitely a different vibe coming out of it. Like, I didn't feel like she was like just lost. Like, she still had like options of people to work with, it felt like. Whereas Dan, I'm just like, what? I feel like I didn't even realize that him and Zach were close before this week when he like had the whole Wendy's. Right.
Because they weren't. And Santina only had options of still people to work with after, because it was week 1. Like, nothing had really happened yet. At this point, things have.
Yeah.
Things have.
And also, like, even the fact that like the House voted unanimously with Santina's HOH. They unanimously voted to get JM out, where this vote was not unanimous. Like, the House is clearly split, and you don't really have friends on either side, it seems like, Dan.
No.
like any real solid connections.
Right. This was a failed HOH week.
Yeah.
I was concerned for our rankings, because I started to think, I was like, oh man, I'm like, this could be interesting, because you definitely see more of the HOH during their week. I'm like, is this going to be skewed in favor of the HOH? Because now all of a sudden we get all this time with them. Now we think, oh, you're doing great. This is evidence that is not the case.
Yeah, the last time I checked in our popularity poll, 90% of the people were voting nay on Dan.
Oof. Yeah. It's not going well out there.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well here either.
Yeah.
We got no rankings for Gina. She's got something better to do.
That's right.
So, obviously Roberto left.
What was the vote against? 7-4? Was that
7-4?
What? So I guess it was so funny, and I think Big Brother.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
No, I was going to say something to talk about.
The BB Can, I think it was their Twitter account, posted like, "Oh, Kuzi is sold," about that whole conversation when Rob had, was talking to Anika and Kuzi, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have to keep Rob. We have to keep Rob." And then like all people were saying like 30 minutes later was apparently not.
Yeah, seriously. I want to ask your opinion on something else. I think that I want to ask your opinion and say I think. I want to know your opinion on the whole Jonathan debacle with thinking that he wanted to be put up on the block. The whole reason, really, we were led into the to be continued on our veto episode.
Right.
What did you think of that?
About him wanting to go up or
Mhm.
volunteering.
Yeah, because he's having a hard
Ridiculous.
time playing this game.
2 people in 1 week volunteering themselves to go on the block
Uh-huh.
in week 2.
Mhm.
Like, I thought it was ridiculous. I also love how Jonathan, like, even when he is, like, actively telling you, like, "I'm really fired up. I'm really pissed off," is still just like, "I'm fired up. I'm pissed off right now."
I can tell.
He
I'm
never shows any emotion.
really mad.
Yeah.
Listen, I had so many issues with this little segment with Jonathan. Okay. I was deeply troubled by the fact that they use this moment as entertainment. There was no
Yeah.
functional reason for this to be in there. This is basically how the veto episode ended. And then there was nary a word about it in the next one. The
Yeah.
whole reason why we want it to be continued. So you use this man's misery as a cliffhanger. That's disrespectful. That's
Yeah.
especially in week 2. We had other stuff to go on. Like, you didn't need to do it to be continued on that. But I think this is also like just more evidence that we should stop recruiting people. This makes me
Mm.
feel like he was a recruit, because he just keeps saying, I don't want to play it this way. And it's not how I want to play the game. Well, honestly, no one has really done anything that isn't the game. So
Right.
that just means you don't really know what this even is. And honestly, then why are you here? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's one thing to say, oh, this is a lot harder than I expected. You're saying, I don't want this to change me. This is not how I want to play. And it's like, all right, well, babe, that's what it is. It's the whole reason why I don't apply. Like, I like it, but I know I can't do it. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, the whole thing kind of like annoyed me. This game
I
would be so
saw
much more fun if you put like super fans in there, like Australian
Yeah.
Survivor does. Like, put people in there that understand the game and want to play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I saw people saying that, and it's just on Twitter. It's like nothing actually serious. I saw some people saying like, "Oh, production clearly wants Jonathan to get the eviction protection vote this week, so they had to throw in a couple extra segments of him in the edit." So
I
maybe
don't
that's
want
why
him to
we
win
just
it.
got a point. Maybe that's why we got just a pointless ending of the episode yesterday.
If anything, that seems like not nice. Because he was thinking
Right.
about wanting to leave,
He-
and they're like,
he
"No,
wants to
just
leave.
kidding.
Yeah.
You're locked in for another
We're,
week."
we're gonna make it impossible for you to leave.
Mhm.
How do
Unless
you
you
feel about
self-evict.
Jonathan overall, though?
I didn't really feel anything.
Yeah.
Um, I hadn't really seen enough of him. I like his accent.
Yeah.
Like, I like hearing him speak.
Yeah. He wasn't one of
Otherwise,
my he wasn't one of my favorites when we started. He's still not he's still not one of my favorites. But I think I like him more now than when the game started. I've
I guess
started to warm up to him a little bit.
Sure. All right. I don't know that I've
Especially
seen enough.
I think it really is just that coincides with him now being like, I'm not working with Zach or Ty anymore. I think that's why it's immediately I was like, oh, okay, I like him a little bit.
Yeah. You also had some words with your boy Zach.
Oh,
Zach
on the
didn't like that his
stairs.
name kept coming up. Why is my name coming up? Why is my name coming up?
It's like, dude, you
you're
try
doing
to
everything.
run. Yeah, you try to run every single thing that's going on in the house. Of course,
Yeah.
your name is coming up all over the place. What do you mean? Like,
I can't stand it.
that's the thing. Like, I will say, he obviously is good at talking people into things. Like, maybe he's a good salesman or businessman outside of the house or whatever. But like,
He
you
is.
know, in a game like this where you're stuck in this house with all the same people day after day, there's only a few days where your sales tricks are going to work, and then everyone's going to be like, this guy's a sleazy salesman and he's lying to me and he's trying to con me, and that's what's happening. And it's like, and that's the thing with Kuzi too. We were talking about Kuzi before, right? Like how
Mhm.
she's she's obviously not working with Zach, but has been very good with like making Zach feel comfortable around her and saying the right things to Zach and all that kind of stuff. Like, she's someone who's playing the game hard, but like is doing it well and in a way where you don't notice her. Like, because we all we keep saying is we don't see enough of Kuzi, and it's because like all these little things that she's doing to like improve her position in the game, she's actually like good and can be sneaky with it. Whereas Zach is just so out, up front and out in the open with everything. And then as soon as somebody is like, all right, you did this to me last week, and I don't want you to do it again. Why are you trying to do this again to me now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't just constantly be like pushing people in the direction that you want. And every time that they're like, well, I don't know if that's best for my game. And Zach's like, well, but it is best for your game and it's best for mine. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this can't be your strategy for a game that's supposed to last like 70 days or whatever. Like,
He's a
because
big baby.
yeah, he really is just the biggest baby I think I've ever seen on any of these shows.
How are
Like,
you going to feel if he wins HOH?
I will
we
be
should
so.
just
I'll
cancel
be
the pod
so.
that week. We're not even
Yeah.
talking to y'all about this. Sorry. We're not even talking this week.
I will be furious, furious if he wins HOH.
Absolutely
Oh
not.
God.
Although I will say, no, because I still don't see that ending well. I mean, if it happened, the only silver lining could be that whoever he wants to go out just doesn't. And the house is just like,
Right.
well, no. And like that could just be entertaining to watch. But like, however that still goes, whatever he thinks is a pawn would then have to be the one to go. And I wouldn't want that either, because that can't be a good answer.
Yeah.
So no, yeah. That's just if we had to find something good. If we had to find something good.
Right. Which, you know what, if see, this is why I don't like that they got rid of the dead last nominee already too, because if he were to win, at least there would be the hope that the two people he did put up, neither of them would go, you know, because my worry would be that he's going to put up two people that I like and that one of them then is guaranteed to leave, which I don't want to happen. Like, I would, you know, he, of all people in there, he is the one that most deserves an HOH where nobody that he nominates goes home and like one of his allies goes home instead. You know, like,
Delicious.
those were some of the best weeks in Big Brother Over the Top. You know what I mean? Like the weeks where like one side of the house gets gets power, gets the HOH. They put up their two people, and then America's Vote comes in, and it's like, oh, your number, the HOH's number one is now on the block. Like, you know, like just automatically.
Yes. I would love that. Anything where his game can get foiled would be very enjoyable to me. Hey, DM Rocks wants to say that Zach talks people so rude. We do know. We do know. Wants
awful.
to know if we saw how he talked to Kuzi and Anika on the Digital Daily. No, Digital Dilly Dally. No, we did not see that because we don't accept those. We just scour the hashtag for the facts and stats. Yeah. But you can certainly
even
tell
like
us about it.
Literally every time he talks, I just like
Cringe.
Yeah, like even that whole conversation he had with Vanessa with like the apology, none of that felt sincere to me. Like from him, like it was just like I'm trying to repair some of this, you know, this damage. So I have to put on a good face.
Though. I like something. I liked her a lot in this. Because I thought she was just very honest and genuine in that conversation. And I don't want to mess up what she said because I don't remember it verbatim. But basically, she said, if I have an emotional reaction to something, it's just because I'm sensitive to it. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. And I said, I was like, that's a very emotionally mature thing to say. And it just made me love her even more. I was like, she just, oh my gosh, it just makes you want to talk to her more. It already gave me kind of like a view and a vibe of probably what she's actually like in the house. And I got to tell you, I mean, I felt very, very warmed by that comment. And if this is how she is in there, you're going to have a hard time getting rid of her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because no one's going to want to vote her out because I just thought that was very beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I feel like you can tell from these episodes too that she's like a great mom. I felt like the way she sat down and was talking to Zach like that made me feel like this is how she probably will talk to her kids when they do something out of line, misbehave. She will sit down and have a very mature conversation with them, but on a level they can understand because Zach needs that.
Yeah, he does. He does. The exorcist.
Yeah, I love Vanessa. Oh, I really do.
Yeah. I will say though, when she does wear a wig, I get confused. Because I think it was after the veto ceremony, I kept seeing like a different head, and I was like, "Wait, who is that?" But like, but it was like in the background, and I was like, "Oh, it must be Vanessa with a wig." it also harkens back to, I know you didn't watch BB Can 8. That was that canceled COVID season.
Which we got a cameo from one of the people on BB Can 8 this week too. The
Yes,
Wendy's.
we did. Yes, we
That's
did. We
right.
got one
I
from
thought of you
Christopher.
immediately.
Yes, I thought that was really
Yeah.
fun since I just binged
Yeah.
that over the weekend.
Yeah.
But there was somebody on there. Her name is Angie, and she also wore wigs. But she only had like one or two. I don't remember it being too many. So like I was kind of, and this is still early on. We'll get used to Vanessa.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, obviously that season didn't last too long, so maybe she had more and you get to use them, or
Yeah.
didn't notice them. But yeah, that's all. It's just fun tangent.
Did you see Vanessa? I guess it was probably last week. No, the little fashion show they did.
Mm-hmm.
She looked great, and Hope was like floored.
Yeah, that was awesome. I just love her confidence. I
Yeah.
really, really love her. With that, who would you rank as your favorite person of the week?
Vanessa.
Vanessa. Wow, that you didn't even have to think, huh? Didn't even.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
She blew up the house, and she's just a wonderful,
She did.
wonderful person.
She sure did.
Because you know what, I think it was very big to do that and really get it out in the open and get people talking about it. Because I think people knew it, but didn't really want to do anything about it. It felt like, and now it feels like people are going to do. Yeah, people are going to do something about the whole Zach Ty running the house thing now. So
yeah, you can't unring a bell.
Yeah,
you can't. There's another one that's something putting like an animal back in its pen or something like that. I love my little metaphors and things.
Right.
All right. Well, who's your number two?
See, this one I'm having a little more trouble with. I was thinking about it since the episode ended. I've been thinking about it. But I think I'll go with Kuzi for my number two.
Really?
Yeah, Vanessa and Kuzi.
Excellent. And how are we rounding it out?
Who
gets your final point for their contribution to the BB Can 11 house? 11 house.
Let's go. Let's go Daniel this week.
Daniel.
I don't think he's really playing the best game right now, but I'm just enjoying him.
He is fun. He is a good time. Hey, they're your points. You can do what you want with them.
Yeah. It's just it's still in a weird spot. Like honestly, I don't really think Anika's like doing anything in there. I voted for Claudia last week, but I feel like, especially this week, all we really got of Claudia was a lot of just her and Ty stuff. I feel like we didn't really see her do anything else. Mm-hmm. Did not love Dan. Hope volunteered to go on the block. Jonathan volunteered to go on the block. Like, it's hard to pick people, like I feel
they're having a rough time. These people,
yeah,
they are having a rough time. It's a rough start to the season. Yeah.
And Santina, I think, is trying to turn her game around, but I'm still not comfortable giving her any points in my rankings.
No. Oh, no.
She's going to have to do a lot more work to undo sending out JM.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like those are the only three I feel like I can really settle on.
Vanessa, we'll have to figure out how we want to work in our BB Can community popularity polls to get other people some points here. Give you a voice in the whole thing here. I don't know if I want to do it. We should do a 3-2-1. That was your suggestion. Give them the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The top vote getters. We'll give out points too. Give you a voice. Click through our Instagram story, Strat Chat Pod. Toss a yay or a nay to your favorite house guests, or a nay to the nons.
Yeah. What about you? Where are you at this week?
Well, my number one, I go with Kuzi. Just loving her. I also quite enjoyed the same conversation that was in the bedroom, where Daniel was like, we can't just let ourselves get controlled by some man. And she goes, not going to happen. And so the way she does her finger, I just really enjoy her.
Yeah.
And I just think she's beautiful. I just love her style. That yellowy orange get up with those big, beautiful earrings. Man, I don't know. She's just beautiful. I just love her. She makes me laugh.
She's gorgeous.
And like we said, I do think she's playing the game a lot harder than we're getting to see in the regular casual episodes. So much love to Kuzi.
Absolutely.
2 is Vanessa, of course. Vanessa. Really, really loving her. Beautiful soul. Good attitude. And I like that she blew up the game, obviously. This kind of blows the whole thing open because I feel like if that didn't happen, this was just going to at least continue for one more week. This put a stop to it,
Yeah.
even though we still saw Rob walk out. Um,
I don't know if Vanessa doesn't do this, I don't know that like Santina even flips, because there was a point where she heard the plan from Zach and Ty about getting Rob out, even though they've been in this showmance, and she was like, I'm fine with it. I'm here to win a game, not for some showmance. It wasn't until after this whole thing with Vanessa that Santina was finally like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like finally
right,
now.
which I really don't understand why Santina thinks any of this is good for her game. We said it last week, and like now you
Yeah.
really have to double down on this because you're absolutely right. It wasn't until like after that blow up that she started to sing a different tune.
Yeah.
So where does she think she falls in the hierarchy of this all men alliance? Like they're not even getting along. They're going to only keep you along to make sure they can get out the other guys. And in your first boot,
Yeah.
once we
Yeah.
reset and they're all gone, you're out of here, hon. Like nobody's bringing you to the end.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, not a good decision. I don't know. He really put his hooks in her that first week.
Yep.
Yeah.
To the point where he was literally talking you into voting out your showmance, who would have had your back and voted for you to stay every week if you were on the block. Like, but you're just gonna listen to Zach. Like,
Yeah, voting out your
as
showman. He wanted you to vote out your showmans and got you to put up somebody else who wanted to work with you, who knew the game, who is not
Yeah.
coming to you, said straight out, I will not, I'm not putting you up. I'm going to keep you
Yeah.
safe or make sure you are fine. Oh, and in return, I'm putting you up. Sorry, sucker. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell was that? Like, yeah, she's a hot mess. But I did round out my top 3 with Claudia. I did toss her a
Okay.
point.
Nice.
Because again, I still enjoy how she's handling herself with the Thai stuff. I still am not 100% sure what benefits she thinks she's getting from this, from a game perspective. I mean, are they actually really hanging out or something? Like, is this a proper showmance? I'm not getting that vibe. I'm getting that we're just kind of hanging out and flirting. But
Yeah. It feels like it's more than that when Ty is in the mood to entertain,
which
the
doesn't seem to be
relationship or
very
whatever.
often. Like
It seems like more than not, she's trying to have a conversation with him and get to know him or talk some game with him, and he's just like barely even speaking to her. I don't, and I really like Claudia. I do. I think she was she my number 1 last week, I think, right?
No, she was your number 2.
Oh, number 2. Okay. But I was very high on her because she was one of the few, even among the girls at that point, she was one of the few who was, actually saying like, we got to break up this guy alliance. One of the few people actually saying that. And yet she's still just hanging out with one of the worst dudes in there.
No.
Like, so we're going to break up the guys alliance, but you're just going to keep Ty around? Like, really? The guy who gets pissed at you for wearing a hoodie? Like, come on. Like, oh, God.
Well, okay. The hoodie thing, I still thought was a little strange. We just met, and you're wearing some other dude's hoodie, and you're trying to kiss me. I'm like, babe, go take that off. You ain't got a sweat of your own. Like, why you got? What are you doing? Like, are you trying to make me feel away? That felt like that did actually feel a little gameplay-ish.
It just for me, it felt like, okay, if you don't like it, then just be like, hey, like, we're hanging out. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. Like, but like, you're wearing this other guy's hoodie. Like, it kind of makes me feel a little weird.
No,
like, just talk about it.
Didn't handle it correctly. No, didn't handle it correctly. I'm just defending the thought process behind it. No,
right.
Like that's all. But no, still.
Totally. But like it's just this whole game so far, it feels very like high school. The fact that like it feels like Rob, and I had tweeted that. So Rob is being backdoored because he shared an opinion to Zach that he didn't think Renee should get evicted last week. You know what I mean? And somebody quote tweeted it and responded and said, and also because of the whole hoodie thing with, Claudia wearing Rob's hoodie. And I'm like, so this man's being backdoored for sharing his opinion and lending his hoodie to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, this is so freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like literally 3 days ago, this was like the tightest alliance in the house. We're going to run this game. We're going to run this game. And now like you're getting voted out because of sharing an opinion. Not even saying like, oh, I won't vote out Renee. Just being like, I don't think that's the best move. That's all. And then, like, that's all that Rob said.
I can't work with this guy.
Yeah, can't
It
work with
does
this
give me
guy.
hope though for the demise of Zach's game. Like I will say that if things
Yeah,
can change that quickly, then maybe he can be out of here just as fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do also have to say, because I do agree with you that, the hoodie thing can be, you know, might not like to see a girl that you're interested in wearing some other guy's hoodie. You have to at least communicate it better, though. But like the thing for me is, do we know that maybe Claudia didn't think it was that big of a deal because maybe this was a day that Ty wasn't speaking to her? Oh, I'm just gonna wear this
Oh no,
hoodie.
it's
It's warm and
possible.
comfy. Like
No, I mean it could have been innocence, but like it also could have not been. So I understand like being a little put off by that. Yeah, that's all.
no, no, I do agree. It's just funny to me because even the hoodie thing, I'm like, how legit is that really? Because like, is this a day that Ty has no time for Claudia to even speak to her? Like
Right. Right.
that's all.
Right. All right. I don't have anything else. That's it for me on this week.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for me. I just hope that anybody else but Zach or Ty wins the HOH, so that both of them can be sitting next to each other uh, on Thursday of next week.
I still might be wishful thinking, but hopefully.
I feel like I can definitely see Zach up there if they don't win. I'm not so sure about Ty because I think Claudia will go to bat for him still at this point. But
Oh, you do? I don't think she would care that much. But
no,
I would be surprised. I mean, again, I don't watch any of the dailies. Anytime I see Ty and Claudia on my like timeline, like on Twitter or something, like I kind of skip it because I just don't like it. I still I don't know. I'm not getting a vibe from her that she's like super into it. I just feel like she
I
likes
just
the
like
attention she's getting. Like,
right. I think that Ty sucks. I think that he is very rude to people and he does not talk nice to Claudia at all. I think that, but everyone in there, I feel like he's pretty rude to. But I think he's gonna like kind of skate by. Like I think Zach will be the one because he is so loud and is so pushy with everybody. They'll get Zach out and be like, okay, we got rid of the problem, and Ty will be able to sort of skate by at least for a
mhm.
little bit longer. I feel like.
Now, what if Ty is actually one of the driving factors to Zach getting out? Because it did look like he was listening. It did look like he was being a little receptive to some of these conversations right before the veto there.
Yeah. If he helps get Zach out, great. Thanks for your contribution, but you
Right.
can be next.
Right. As long as you're
Even if
next.
he like, yeah, like I would love to see him. Everybody have have an equal part in getting Zach out of there. But like, I don't think that's going to improve how I feel about Ty afterward.
No, I'm still not going to toss him a point or anything.
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
still slamming down on nay. I'll tell you that. So what do we have coming
Renee,
up? Oh, Renee.
Renee, Renee, and her bootay are safe
I like
for
that
another
she
day.
says it all that. I like it. I think it's funny.
I don't. I don't mind it. I tweeted about it, but like, I didn't even mean it in a negative way. I was just like, I'm starting to pick up the pattern that like
That's her thing.
every episode, Renee is talking about her bootay.
She has to.
You
That's
know,
her thing. That's her thing.
so
Yeah, we got ripped up on Twitter.
she's also
Somebody had a negative comment about us because we put Renee on our rankings, favorite players. Somebody didn't like that.
oh whatever. She's much taller than I realized. By the way, I noticed it this week.
Yeah.
She seems pretty tall. She was standing next to she was standing next to somebody else, and I was like, that person looks very short. I forget who it
Right.
was now, though. Not important at all. It's just
No,
something I
that
noticed.
was not worth the 10 seconds we lost on it. We're sorry, everyone.
Wow. Wow.
Now it was. No, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. What is coming up next week? We have things happening. We're wrapping up Australian
right.
Survivor, man.
I can't believe it.
That's Monday at
I
8:30.
can't believe
Special
it.
time. Special time. We have to start posting about it. Watch me start posting. We're
Yeah.
gonna post once and then wonder why everybody missed it. 8:30 on Monday. An hour earlier than usual. Australian Survivor finale. To bring us right into 9:30. We're finally picking up Survivor 44. Yeah, we're coming. All right, we're getting back on track here. all this international travel. So that's what's happening. And then obviously BB Can next Thursday at 9:30 again.
Yeah.
You can find us on the socials at StratChatPod or on our website at stratchatpod.com. Anything else for the benefit of the community?
No, I think that's it.
All right, perfect.
Unless you want me to talk about the height of more people in there.
You know what? Maybe each week you'll tell us another height difference that you didn't notice. You can compare it to different people. Like that can just be like your thing. And as we wait for John to compile the data on that one, you can click through our story on Instagram and toss a yay or nay to our house guests in the BB Can house. Thanks for hanging. We're out of here.